crack on with the cloud computing part of it onto platform as a service. And in the labs this week, you're going to create a simple Google App Engine application where you'll start on platform as a service and get the sort of hello world equivalent up and running both on a local machine and then transfer it to your cloud account. And then we'll start having a look at data persistence to it using the database that Google supply you with. And we'll have a look at it in sort of two methods, two different ways of doing it for that. By the way, I mentioned just before, one or two sort of came in. If anybody missed out on the lecture slides, got about 3 or 4 sort of spare copies here. If you want them, just give us a shout or come and grab one as needs be. Last week I went over sort of general cloud computing terms. This week I want to have a look at a few case studies of people who've done well out of the cloud, why they're sort of moving over to it, and then we probably won't have the sort of time to actually look at some of the practicalities of platform as a service. I'll do that at the beginning of next week. So to have a look at some of the benefits of moving over and who's used what for it, and how you might sort of address some of the sort of security issues for it. It does affect just about every aspect of an organisation's IT. When you're sort of moving things out to a cloud-based solution, and as I say, just about every major manufacturer is sort of already moving out there on it, whether it's sort of desktop sort of type software or hardware for it. And what you often need to sort of consider is it going to be of benefit to you? What sort of benefits are you going to get out of it in terms of the cost-benefit ratio for it, or the speed of delivery of some of these things, your capacity requirements and your security sort of issues. Some of those things might be of benefit, some might cause you a bit of a headache over it. So we need to have a look at where you can actually get some of these sort of benefits are. And they fall into two sort of aspects. They're either technical benefits, that your things are actually moving faster or something, or you've got unlimited storage, easier to sort of use in those aspects. So. Or there might be more business-based benefits where you've got to approach things differently in terms of your payment. You're not perhaps laying out a lot in advance for equipment. You might be on a payable by the hour or by the day approach to it, available on demand, and things being immediately available and used only for as long as required. So you won't have all this sort of thing of selling off of outdated equipment after a 5-year lifespan or something like that for it. Our labs, for example, are designed to work on a 5-year lifespan. They build a new lab, and then after 5 years they write it off, basically. And you might well have similar sort of approaches in a company that you're working for. So different approaches to the actual way in which you manage the business for it. Whether it's in all these sort of areas like software as a service and technical sort of benefits, you've got a choice from a lot of vendors. No installation required, automatic backups of things. Hopefully the sort of days of losing your documents will start to disappear a bit more. For it. Myself, I had an issue with that just over the last week when I got a network attached storage at home. And supposedly those things are supposed to automatically back up with a RAID sort of server. I plugged a new disk in and all the disk lights started flashing red saying you've lost all 6 terabytes of data that you've got on this sort of thing through it. And I think the only help that they said was, have you backed it up to it for this supposed infallible RAID server. But some of these sorts of things where you can back up automatically, and people like Google offering free storage of photos and HD videos and things like that, yeah, they are getting their own sort of part of it. They want to build up an image bank that they're using. But all that sort of thing archived automatically, rather than storing your photos on your phone or just copying them over onto your sort of PC. Yeah, they're automatically sort of clouded out for it, and new versions sort of coming seamlessly. Similar thing for this platform as a service. When we have a look at it today, you don't have to install the Apache server. You don't have to install the database server as well. Again, they are sort of updated seamlessly for it. You'll have a choice of operating systems, platforms to use from. You can actually just get on with writing your app. So those issues that you're having setting up your own machine with Eclipse and Tomcat and versions of Java, you'll sort of tend to, again, drift away. Not so much for the developers are still doing it on their own machine, but the actual runtime versions of these sorts of things, and the automatic scaling to meet processing needs. So the again, sort of all on that sort of a technical side to it. Some of the case studies of what's been happening in this, Salesforce are often sort of cited as being software as a service case study, because they were one of the first peoples into it. They are sort of specialised in that they've got this niche market of customer relationship management for it. So it's big in terms of the sales department in a company who wanted to keep track of their customers and what their history was, and you can sort of offer them different sort of benefits according to how long they've been with you or what their previous history was in terms of discounts and the like. So they provide all that sort of tool rather than keeping it on site. They develop this sort of cloud based version of it to sort of work with, and they've pretty much led the field for a good few years, setting off doing this sort of thing back in 1999. So they're way ahead of things, and they first offered it as a platform for apps in the mid sort of 2000s for it. Developed by this a fairly major cloud supplier called Heroku, who bought them out for it, with a bit of a sort of follow up to it. But just if this is just a sort of pointer to some of their sort of background and what their sort of things, what their dashboard looks like. But if it's outside your sort of own working area, it's a bit sort of hard maybe to appreciate what a benefit it was for them for it. But they've definitely been one of the success stories over the last sort of 20 years. In terms of something like platform as a process, where it is, this company, Author Solutions, wanted a customised application to be sort of developed. They're sort of claiming these sort of benefits of sort of a lot faster than it previously was, at 2/3 the cost of developing it on premises to get up and running with an application. Another platform as a service linked to one sort of particular key field on the social media side. You've got Facebook platform development. So they'll supply the runtime environment to develop Facebook applications for it, where you can then link into existing account, well, not account data, but what's happening across their vast storage of knowledge for that. So you can access what people have liked, for example, what people have liked, what's trending, all these sort of social networking properties for it. And there are third parties running their apps off that sort of thing to interface directly to Facebook for it. So one of the key things that they were trying to do is sort of analysing logs and people making suggestions, what ads to place on your app screen or whatever. And the sort of things, if you are a sort of Facebook developer, then yes, you can read data from profiles and pages to it to find out who your audience are likely to be. This is why it's free. You don't pay for Facebook. They just want your data to be able to sell to other people for it. So you can navigate the graph. So you can navigate friends lists, for example. And the more you know about this, the more, the less the more you want to make your own sort of Facebook area more sort of private for it. Or queries based on posts, people and pages for it. Creating new posts from that sort of thing, real-time updates, and you get APIs for working with it, or moving around their sort of network, their graph API, the Facebook query language to sort of interrogate it. You get these things as a Facebook developer. So you're able to sort of put in a request for example, a particular identifier, a particular user or group for it, and give a selection of fields that are coming out to it, and get that JSON response of that block of data corresponding to that. And then perhaps with that data, you want to do your own sort of analysis, but they'll also provide the analysis tools to it. So yeah, for a fee, they're providing you access to that huge amount of information that people are quite voluntarily putting up on Facebook, depending on your sort of privacy wants to it. So various methods for reading, for adding or modifying. These are in a sort of RESTful